Yeah.
Sean, what do you mean? Tuesday, April 9th, 2024. This is the Town of Litchfield Recreation Commission meeting. We will call the meeting to order. My name is Peter Ames, Chair of the Commission. And Drew Ruggles, Vice Chair.
Here.
Drew Brennan, Secretary.
Here.
Chris Burns, Member.
Here.
Steve Gannon, Select Board Rep.
Present.
And absent with notice tonight are Jeff Town, Mike Bosky, and Steve Weber. As folks to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first order of business is approval of the March 26, 24 minutes. Members had a chance to review the minutes.
Yep. I'll make a motion to approve the March 26 minutes.
A second.
The motion is second. Is there discussion or edits? We just have one. In facility and field requests, item number F, just a spelling correction on the memorial fields of Justin Bissett with a T, Kurt Schaefer with a C. Any other changes?
I didn't have any.
All right, seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain, motion carries 401. All right, next we will open the public hearing on the proposed fee schedule, which was posted on the town website and on town properties for the last couple of weeks. So this is the public's opportunity to provide any input. So we'll open to members of the public, of which there are none in the audience. I did not see any communications come through. That was listed as one of the options on the hearing notice. Did I miss it?
I heard
Anybody
it.
see any?
I did not.
I didn't see any.
All right, so we will close public input on the hearing unless someone else arrives. But with that, we can approve these formally at the next meeting. Good on that, move to field and facility requests.
Peter, would we have to change adopted to 2023 to 2024 top? I know it's minor, but
Yes, we will. Yes,
Okay.
thank you. All right, first request is from softball.
LMS.
Roy Fields.
LMS.
Oh, that's softball. For fields 1, 2, and 3 at Roy, beginning April 11th through June 10th. On the evenings of Monday through Friday, 2:30 till 7.
I had replied back to Mr. Zapanis and mentioned it would be worth speaking with LGSL and CHS to try and work things out. I don't know if that happened, but
As of today, it hasn't.
okay.
So yeah, I agree, that would be critical because we're already double booked.
Right.
Understanding that
There's an overlap with CHS times and, well, actually, we should make a motion first, right?
Yeah,
And
I'll
then
make a
discuss
motion to approve LMS softball to use Roy Memorial Park, Jewett Field.
I'll second it for discussion.
All right, we have motion and a second.
So
discussion.
their times overlap with when CHS is using it and LGSL times. They only want it for games, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He said he was gonna talk with Rick, that he knows Rick well, and I'd mentioned that, because I think I CC'd the rec commission on the
think
email,
you
that
did.
we have members on the rec commission, and that, things would need to be worked out with them. So, I don't know if we can we approve pending, speaking with CHS and LGSL to make sure that it works? Or, cause 4/11 is,
Thursday.
yeah,
So I believe we can. I've been emailing with Craig about
okay.
this as well, mainly about Thursday. But yeah, I mean, LGSL isn't up yet. They're not
Okay.
running yet, so there's no conflict there. We probably wouldn't have a
And
conflict
CHS
until
has reserved,
5-2.
I believe, all 3 fields.
CHS, yeah, did they?
Yeah, I think it's all
Reserved
3.
one.
Chris, did they happen to mention, because when I saw Steve Weber too, we were saying it, like they have their own field. Why are the schools requesting use of our fields now? Because
Middle
they have.
school doesn't have a field. They use GMS. They use the field at GMS.
Yeah, they've always have.
Which I guess isn't in great shape. I haven't seen
So
it,
the-
but I don't
no.
know
Well,
much about it.
Not for nothing, the baseball field wasn't either, but they put a ton of, like, volunteers just went and did work to it,
Mhm.
you know? I
So-
mean, it's a field that they used it last year.
GMS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Well-
I don't have a problem with them using these fields, it's just more of a,
Scheduling.
yeah.
It is,
you know,
but
it's
also
like-
the school has a budget for it. I believe it was the last school board meeting or the one before, they said custodians were cutting back on their work in the schools to get the fields ready for the spring season. And would be working on it, so then I was kind of surprised to see that Campbell High School is requesting our fields every weekday, and now LMS for their games, but if they have people fixing their fields, it's kind of like, from my eyes, it's almost like a little double dipping with taxpayers' dollars too. That, or if they're not spending the money on their fields, then they have a budget for it. We might have to look at that a little bit.
Yeah, I'd be
differently,
surprised
too.
if they weren't keeping their fields up and wanting to use ours instead.
Right.
I think this is more just backup
So
for options.
I think CHS is more for practices than games. I think they play their games at Campbell. I mean, I feel like we kind of already set the precedent with CHS.
They started practicing on our fields years and years ago. JV always practiced and had their games there because varsity would be playing at
Do
the
they
high
have a
school.
varsity and JV team this year?
I don't know. And so it could be that they do have a JV team, so like in the past, they need another field, they need the 2 fields.
My knowledge, they don't, but that's.
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
So are you under the interpretation that they are trying to use the rec fields for practices to
Not
save their
LMS.
field?
The LMS is just for games.
Okay.
Yeah.
And save their fields for their games?
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
That's what it
So
seems like
use rec
Campbell is
fields?
doing, but Campbell's already been approved, so that we can't really.
Right. It
change
just
that.
seems like a lot of the school stuff now is starting to request rec property. But if they have a budget, which I believe they do, and I believe it was the last school board meeting, like a week ago, or maybe 2, that was specifically said that the custodians would be cutting back on inside stuff and getting the fields ready. So the same thing crossed Steve Weber's mind
Alright.
too, and I don't want to speak for him, but it's like that I'm sure the schools have a budget for that, and then we have our budget, and if if softball field wasn't used, the softball field's as much, I mean, it's used a lot now, it's gonna be like, and then with outside teams. I just wondered, we both kind of questioned why that's happening more and more, that the schools are requesting the town fields when they have their fields and they have a budget for it.
Mm-hmm.
And if they want to use our fields, then maybe, and they're not spending their budget money, then
I mean, that's a valid question.
I
It's a
think it
valid question.
is, because taxpayers are
Yeah, why are they
Are
not using
paying-
their own?
the school
Their
money
fields, yep.
to take, so it's just, I'm kind of curious. I understand when they call and say, oh, our field is flooded, we have a game tomorrow,
Yeah,
can we use
totally-
one of these?
totally different.
Totally.
Yeah.
But
But
now
if
it's
it's like, I
becoming
don't-
more and more relied on, and I understand if there's a JV and a varsity, and they only have one softball field,
it's a-
and they used to use it 3 to 5, so
If
they
it's a
would be
scheduling
done.
conflict with their own, I understand, but if we're
Right.
trying to save our fields and abuse your fields because we have games on the weekend, that's a concern.
Right.
I would be really concerned.
Or if it's like we just don't feel like getting our fields ready, when
Well-
literally,
Yeah.
You
a
know,
couple
well,
weekends
they
ago, I
would have
spent
to
10
come and get
hours
their own,
getting Jeff
but
Lane ready,
just like baseball, I'm sure you get your own infield mix, your dry mix.
Yeah.
It becomes wear and tear
Sure.
on our fields. Also, I mean, we pay for irrigation, we pay for the maintenance to keep it up. If it's because the school's not keeping up with and I don't want it to be us against them, but it is 2 separate budgets,
Right.
but with money assigned to both, and if the school isn't able to fulfill their obligation or they can't find people to do it, and they're gonna use ours, then maybe there has to be, we'll have to look at something with, well, if you have that money there and you're not using it.
So is it worth a call out to the ADs of the respective schools to say, hey?
I thought about that, but I didn't wanna reach out without talking to anybody, cause I do reach out to them with
Oh,
other
I think
things.
it's
I can ask just a question that I'm curious about,
Yeah, I think it should be asked for sure.
but I mean, anybody, do you guys kinda feel like it's a little bit strange that they're,
It's worth a question, yeah, just to see.
It's worth a question, but I mean, if CHS is already approved, is there anything we can do
Yeah.
about it now?
no.
No,
I know, well, CHS also used to use the field sometimes because they came to use the batting cages, which belong to LGSL, that's not us. That's something you guys have worked out.
Yep.
So that it was easier to practice on one of our fields, but. And I did stress with LMS if they move the pitching rubber or plate, that they needed to move it back to where it was
Yep.
because you guys were having, LGSL was having issues with the pitching rubbers being left where further back distance.
That
for
issue
older
will
kids.
hopefully be resolved this weekend, when we do our maintenance work down there. but,
Yeah,
Yeah, so that will hopefully be no longer an issue, no longer a problem. But that, yeah, and I said the same thing to Craig too. I don't know what the distance is now. It's probably I think it was
Whoever
probably
used it
LGSL that
last,
used it
yeah.
last fall.
but he was
So
very
it's sort of
agreeable to,
phenomenal.
I explained how you have to empty the trash cans
Yeah.
and, that are surrounding the
Yeah.
field, get it to the dumpster for us, and if, yeah, the pitching plate is moved, it needs to be put back in. He was fine with all
Yeah, I
that.
mentioned to
And
him
the only
too.
other thing to think about, cause this happened last year where playoff games happened down there, the one porta potty was overflowed, so I think we need to make it clear that if playoff games are held there, that they will be responsible for the portable bathrooms, and also now we have to, for games or events that are larger than just rec game or whatever tournaments, that fire and police have to be notified. Is that correct, Steve?
Yep.
Yep,
For
and
a certain
they,
amount of people, yeah.
and they would determine, whether they needed to have someone from fire or
I think it
police.
was like over 1,000 people. It was a
So-
significant number.
But like last year, there were problems at Dara where the parking was all up and down the street because the parking lot did not hold it for the state. I think the soccer was, LMS soccer, maybe, I think CHS held some games too. Like once the playoffs start, you're drawing bigger
Sure.
crowds, and there was parking issues at Dara and people coming in to use Talent Hall. So I think that's something new that, I don't know if that's something we put in the request or.
Well, I think it
it's
sounds
just
like
a
some
verbally-
communications in order, so
Yeah.
I'm happy to reach out to the ADs of the respective schools, just say, hey, let's up with the increased field usage, just to
Yeah.
hear what's behind that. Remind them of if there's playoff games, that there's an expectation that they cover any costs that may be incurred
Right,
with the porta potties.
so.
But
I
as far as
can-
it really, sorry, as far as it
can
relates
reach
to
out.
this request, go ahead, Judy.
I did mention to him that he'd be responsible for lining the field as well, because nothing's been done since the fall. So.
Okay, right. Sorry, Judy, were you gonna say something? I cut you off?
Well, we can vote on it, and then I was just gonna ask, do you want me to follow up with, Josh and, is it Dan, Josh Knight and, Dufournet?
Yep.
Dan? I can. So, I guess I'd make a motion to accept LMS softball.
We already have a motion.
We already have
a motion.
We're good there. So, well, let me ask about just with the
Did you
conflicts
do
that we
it,
have.
did you say pending, the motion? Did we say
Yes.
pending? We did, okay, that's what I was thinking. We needed to have that word in there.
With 3 requests, just want to kind of go through the hierarchy because we had, last time said, pending communication between the two. With 3, I think we've generally defaulted to the rec team getting preference. CHS would be second because they
Yep.
couldn't, are we all in agreement on that?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah. Right.
yeah.
Right.
And as far as the LMS games go, I know we put in here 2:30 to 7. LGSL usually wouldn't start before 5:30 on weeknights, so their middle school games are generally wrapping up around 5:30, so unless the game goes into extra innings or something, I don't think there'll really be too much of a conflict, other than maybe a couple of minutes here and there. But
I think one other thing, just looking, Thursday's supposed to be pretty rainy, and if they need to reschedule, they'll also need to, I mean, they need our approval, but they really need to check with softball league, I think, for
Yep.
reschedule, and so that we don't have teams showing up at the same time to use the same field.
So I don't know, how does this work, right, where he puts in a for dates, you know, the 11th, April 11th till June 10th, but then is only really requesting them on specific days for games.
June 10th might be the include like playoff games.
Yeah,
to the end
but
of the season.
he's only actually, in the notes, he's saying specific dates, the 11th, the 2nd, the 8th, the 14th,
Yeah.
and the 21st.
Yeah.
That's
So
probably regular
rather
season.
rather than making it one blanket approval from the 11th till June 10th, wouldn't it make more sense just to ask for the specific days?
Yeah,
Yeah, because that'd be
Date.
a big difference if you think that's
Yeah.
really all he needs. And
They don't practice there.
okay,
yeah, he just asked for those dates, and I was thinking that the 21st must be their last home game, and then playoffs start, and the championship ends by June 10th is what I was thinking, but we would have to know if there were playoff games. And
but I'm a bit confused by those specific dates because it has asterisk there just need one field, but
Yep.
the request has 3 fields up top.
he wrote it in the email, I think it's on the bottom, a comment he wrote, that they would need just one field?
It does say one field in the notes, but it does, like Peter just said, that he checked off the 3 fields in the check boxes. I have to assume that was probably more of a for whatever field is available
Yeah.
type thing. I can't see them playing on field 3.
No, that's an 8-year-old field,
It's
or,
an 8-year-old field.
yeah, 8 and under.
Yeah, they could certainly use the 10U or the 12U field, if available, if there's a conflict with one or the other. But I would probably amend the request just for the specific dates.
Approve those 5 dates pending working it out with LGSL and CHS.
Yep,
And then I can put in the email if they go into playoffs, then we need to be notified. They're gonna be,
yep, that's, I
Alright, so we have
think that makes more sense.
so now we need to, I don't
So we have
remember
a
what-
change to the motion, or folks good with that? Who made the motion second?
Yeah.
Yep, good. So it's just those 5 specific dates. And with the other communications as well about playoffs, et cetera. Right. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, abstain? Motion carries 5-0. Alright, so then now, do you want me to reach out to the ADs on the broader issue of field reservations? Or,
I've been communicating with them
okay,
as we go along and kind of giving them a heads up of when to get their requests in for the other sports.
okay, so,
So I can follow up, or you can take over if you want.
no, if you're in communication with them, then
Okay.
please continue, thank you. Alright, next request is from the Bobcats.
Andy, you were gonna speak
One's
to
in
that
there.
one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they've been having trouble getting their fields lined up, mainly because of weather and fields not being open and stuff. So they would like to continue to use ours if available. We actually did it a couple weekends ago. We had it was 2 doubleheaders there in one day, and Litchfield baseball opened up the snack shack. We made $400 during that day running that, and it's, you know, everybody was happy, and it was really kind of a cool event. Like, a lot of people stopped by from town just to check it out and watch some baseball and get a hot dog, and
Yep.
so I don't know, they'd like to continue to use it. There's some select dates. It was for the 9U, April 14th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., April 28th, 1 to 5 p.m., and May 11th from 1 to 5 p.m., and May 19th from 1 to 5 p.m. And again, they can be flexible on those times. Like, say if, you know, there's a rec game or anything like that, they can shift stuff around if need be. For the 11U, it was April 13th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., April 20th, 8 a.m. till noon, May 12th, noon to 4, and May 19th from noon to 4.
So we would just end up adding to their
Yeah.
bill for those
Yep.
dates, and it
Yep.
works with baseball?
Yeah. Yep. So baseball isn't certain until May for games, so we won't even have anything until then.
Ask for a motion?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the Bobcats to use the field for those specific dates. Everything else is in order, insurance and
Yep.
Yeah, we have their insurance.
dates, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
A motion is second, and discussion. And pulling up the calendar, so it looks like
We just have to
they're
make
clear
sure we have all the
except
right
for the
dates.
Silverbacks have the Bissett Fields on the Sundays of the 14th
Yep.
and 20th.
They actually have been using the Hudson Fields,
Yep,
so they haven't requested any actual days.
okay. Are we confident that that will continue? Is it worth it?
Yeah, I
Communication.
talked. Yeah, I actually texted with them today.
Okay.
They are looking for some practice nights during the week, but it's just going to be tough with rec. So I'm trying to work that out with them.
Okay.
You know, yeah.
Would they be willing to release the dates they have held on the calendar, or is there still a possibility?
I think
that
they're gonna. There's a possibility. I'm trying to work with him and see what he wants for actual dates and whatnot. And
So are there
again,
conflicts?
Again, there's ability to move stuff around.
Yeah.
for
Okay.
both
Yeah, for the
positions, so.
Bissett Fields there are currently, with the Silverbacks. But it sounds like it may not actually be a conflict, or they can work around it.
Yeah.
So it'll be somewhat like the LMS one, pending communication with
Yep. Conflicts,
Litchfield baseball.
which I'm doing the schedules now.
Okay.
I don't see there being anything, but
All right, so
if there is, I'll ask him to move. So.
All right, so I guess we'll lean on you for the coordination here, because, yeah, it's both
Yeah,
LBA and the Silverbacks on those,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. And again, that's just a blanket reservation that we make for baseball.
Yep.
And then as I get the schedules, I can actually pull back days because we just don't know, because we coordinate. We're actually playing against Merrimack this year,
Mhm.
so we have to see what their availability is and our availability is. It's just so many. It's like so many wheels in motion, but
Yeah.
we're getting through it. So
Right.
we're almost done.
So if you change things, you'll keep track of the dates that have to be billed for?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we will
I
have a
actually
way of
a-
keeping track of
I
that?
have an Excel
Okay.
spreadsheet at my office,
I'm comfortable with that,
so.
as long as we have a
Yeah.
way to keep track of it.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain.
I abstain.
Carries 401.
And we have also the schools, COI, just so you know.
Yep.
And baseball, Bobcats.
All right, and last request for tonight is LRBL. BL has request for basketball courts and talent if needed, beginning on June 16th, ending August 31st, from 4:30 to 9, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. This will be both the courts and the and talent is really the bigger issue.
So we need a motion, so we
Yes,
can
sir.
discuss.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve LRBL, to use the basketball courts. The dates and times, listed, and talent hall as
Necessary.
necessary due to weather.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, is there discussion?
What does pickleball have for at night in the
don't believe they.
Summer,
believe
they don't
they're
have
in
any?
I don't think they reserve it at all in the summer.
Yeah, they're.
They do mornings still. There are
Yeah.
people who don't
Oh.
play outside.
It's so hot in there.
They're early though.
Yeah.
They're like early. I don't know. I know they did have some nights. I don't know if they do in the summer. I don't know what that.
I don't see them on the calendar. Did they
Okay.
put in a request for that yet?
Yes, I think they did submit their summer. I think they do. The mornings are like a pretty year-round thing, but then they do update them. I don't know. We'd have to go back and look. Because I thought
They
they did it at the
did.
same time as they
It looks like they did.
They
Pickleball did
re-upped,
it
like,
through
the
up to May 1st, and then it
courts. Okay.
drops off.
May 1st. It's becoming a scheduling commission,
Yeah.
really.
Mm-hmm.
So that looks like town hall's open.
For the most part, I'm trying to just give a
Okay.
cruise here to see if there's any random dates, but most everything's outside by this point.
So I just wanted to bring up about the 2 outdoor courts being used 4 nights a week. And last year I was
Before you dive into
hesitant.
that, let's finish
Oh.
out this
I thought he said that.
request.
That is part of it.
But-
They're requesting the
No,
outdoor
this is-
courts.
Oh, for basketball?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you
Talent
meant-
hall,
I
no.
thought you meant pickleball
It's not-
courts.
it's
No, talent hall is just if it's raining.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that would be like you have permission to go in, there's raining or a thunderstorm.
Yep.
But last year we did approve it and I thought we had 3 courts outside and that's why I was comfortable with it. And then I realized we only have 2 out there. And they get used a lot by kids in town who aren't there as part of an organization. So I do have a bit of concern with having 4 nights having both like reserved. I'm wondering, do they really need 4 nights from 4:30 to 9 start to finish? Because kind of like with the pickleball courts, I do feel like we need to have some of our outdoor things available just to residents in town too, if kids want to go and pick up basketball. And I know it's used that way because I see them quite often when I'm down at the park, even when it's chillier out.
Sure.
And those are the only 2 outdoor we have, and summertime is,
There are
Oh,
2.
there are courts at,
There's a court at the high school too,
I think there's some at GMS too. aren't
and
there?
at GMS. Yeah.
oh, there are? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought they had like a half court at
And the high
school.
school's like walking distance from
Okay.
Yeah.
that. It's right outside the main door.
And anybody can just go use the school ones at any time?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think it's a problem.
The
It's kinda like
GMS is in
those.
front of the playground. I don't know where the one at the high school is, but.
It's
It's
you
like,
know where you walk in to go vote in the gym?
Yeah.
I think it's like a
Oh, yeah,
half
right
court.
there. Yeah, it's a half court.
It's a half court.
Oh, even still.
Yeah, but GMS is, I think, full court. It may not be lined,
No.
I know of, because it's in like that little parking area. in
Yeah,
front of
and it's just, if kids are riding bikes, it's a lot easier along the bike path to get to Dara than
the- oh, yeah.
GMS. It's just my thought of taking it up, and it's not like it's
Yep.
1 or 2 hours, it's 4:30 to 9, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I just don't wanna start overbooking everything, because we're not here just for the leagues, we are here for some general public too. So that's my hesitation. Last year, I was thinking we had 3 courts, so I was like, oh, that leaves 1 if some kids
Right.
show up and just wanna
Yeah,
play,
that's
show
good.
up on their bikes or whatever. Cause I do want things for kids to do when they're bored and head over to a park and do something appropriate. But I just don't know how the rest of the commission feels, or if they're really gonna be there, 4.5 hours, 4 nights a week, or if they,
Yeah, well, that'd be my question. 4.5 hours is a pretty solid chunk of time. They
4
may not
nights a
use it
week.
the whole time.
And I don't know how big the summer league is, but I mean, a typical game is probably what, 45 minutes
Yeah.
ish.
I think it was just, did the request say the ages on it? I think it's ages
Pre-K through 8th.
Pre-K through 8th, yeah.
K through 8th. But I'm thinking they're not gonna run like 8th grade every night and pre-K every night. But I don't think they're gonna go 4.5. I don't know if they have asked for a chunk of time thinking they're gonna make things,
Well, it's probably
Everything.
also boys league and girls league.
Yeah.
and, yeah.
but where kids who just wanna show up and play hoop can't go into Talent Hall and just shoot if the 2 outdoor courts are
Yep.
taken, so. It's just something to think about.
No, I appreciate the access, the focus on access, which is important for sure. Is there other discussion on this?
Has there been any report of kids trying to use it when they're playing down there, or them kicking kids off or anything?
Last year, I heard there were a few, but, that's when I realized we didn't have 3 courts. We had 2, because they would show up and couldn't play because courts were being used.
I just know, we went to those summer clinics last year, and there's probably like 30 kids at those things. They're pretty well attended. So I mean, you know the courts
Like
are
4
gonna be-
nights a week?
The
Yeah.
4 nights a week is that it is a tough ask when it's our only real free spot. But again, it's like one of those things. Once they have their actual schedule, like I don't think it's too much to ask to say, hey, can we have the times back, the slots back, just so we
That's-
know
Yeah.
what's really being used? Because I don't think they're playing really from 4 to 9.
That's what I was thinking, that
You know,
they
every
ask
day.
for an encompass time and then they're gonna see where whoever's coaching or doing it can fit it in.
Courts thinking
but-
they're gonna occupy them.
Right.
In
Right.
reality, it may not.
And if they're only using one, then, once they have their schedule, they can get it to us, then we know if there's, some of the times one of the courts is open for the kids who wanna just go play, who,
I assume they've already opened up registration for this?
I don't know.
I-
Although at the same time, Judy, like kids aren't going on the rec calendar to check and see if the courts are open. If they can show up
Right.
and nobody's there, they'll play.
right. Well, cause they
Yeah.
do, they go down on their bikes, they're kicking a soccer ball, I've seen them throwing with a volleyball and just,
Sure.
like, we've had a lot of inappropriate stuff going on down there with kids who are bored looking for something to do. I wanna make sure those kids who aren't part of a team or who just wanna, like, the kids from Campbell might not wanna go play at Campbell if it's a half court.
So Andy,
Yeah.
back to your point, you were saying there's about 30 kids at a night, so reducing it to 1 court just simply wouldn't work.
Well, I don't think they stayed there 4.5 hours, right?
Well, so I think asking for the schedule, if they have the details, would be helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then we can at least.
So how do we wanna,
Well, their first game's not until 6:16, you have plenty of time to push back and table this until you get,
yeah, so it's basically from when school gets out till school starts,
Yep.
4 nights a week.
Yep.
All summer, and then I didn't look when like 4th of July falls or whatever. I mean, I don't know if they take any breaks or if they just did a broad-based thing, but it would be good if we had some open times.
So I think Steve just raised, tabling it for a meeting probably wouldn't impact
Okay.
their ability at all and could allow us time to get that better detail.
tighter detail, tighter schedule.
So do you want me to reach out to Trixie, kind of
Sure.
asking for that information and explaining it and, see if they can give us a better breakdown?
Yep.
So that we know when the courts are open or that they are available for
Yep.
use.
Does that work for folks?
Okay, I can
Mhm.
check with her.
All right, so motion second withdrawn, I'm assuming.
Sure.
All right, so we'll table this till the next meeting then. All right, I didn't see any further facility requests. Did I miss anything?
No, not unless something came in late. I'll do a quick check. Sometimes they come in 5
Sometimes
minutes
they do.
before we start.
We should give pickleball its own category in this, so it's not under
Standing
old
agenda.
business. Yeah, standing
By the Pledge of
agenda.
Allegiance.
Pledge of Allegiance pickleball.
Chris, a
Well, we-
pickleball update.
I have one.
All right.
I have one. So one of the things that Ron had spoke about when he was in here, was it last meeting, I think? They were looking at they'd like to get some benches that they can put down in the walkways there that people can sit in during games, during, in between matches. I've done some research, and this that I just passed around is actually one that Ron sent to me. This is one of those polywood type benches, so low maintenance, pretty sturdy. I don't have the exact dimensions on it in front of me, but I know I looked it up when he sent it to me, and it wasn't very deep, so I don't think it's going to come close to even causing a problem with the ADA requirement for the middle walkway there. The only issue that I saw with this bench is trying to secure it in some manner. So what Ron said is they could fasten some sort of like an eye bolt to one of the legs or both of the legs and chain it to the fence to keep it from walking off. I did find some additional benches, more of the court-side type benches that you could anchor down to the ground, to the pavement, but that would require, bolting to the pavement in some manner, putting in some anchors. So this I think is a good option. The thought right now is that the beautification fund would actually purchase the first one as a trial and see how it works, and then pickleball would be open to purchasing some additional through their funds if everything works out fine.
So that's the gist I got from the emails. There were a few different email threads, but we didn't go ahead and order through beautification because I wanted to clarify that
Yep.
tonight, that we
Yep.
should order it, pick it up, bring it over, see how it works out,
Yeah.
and then they can decide from there if they, okay.
I would make a recommendation that it gets chained pretty tightly, because if it's loose, it's gonna probably slide around a little bit if people are bumping into it, whatever. I don't wanna marking up
Okay.
the court, but
Has he looked at any type of chain, or does he want,
not that I know of.
beautification said 500,
Yeah,
so that leaves 61 to look at some type of chaining.
yeah.
I'm sure Jason will MacGyver something.
I can certainly figure something out
Yeah.
myself.
Okay, so I can make sure that that happens so that they can
Chains
check it
and
out and
stuff,
try
do
it
both.
and see if that's what they want to, if they like it, then they can get their own.
Yeah.
And it sounded like the measurements have all been done and it
Yeah.
fits and there's still the required ADA space to get
Alright.
by. Then
Yeah.
we shouldn't be getting any more holes.
Yeah, so I printed it off just to show you folks, and I don't know if it's something we have to approve. I think aesthetically, I think it'll look nice down there, but just wanted to see what your thoughts were.
It's good to me.
Yeah, it's plastic, so it's not anything we have to maintain with sanding and repainting.
Will those dig in though, Chris, if it gets hot, you think? Like the small,
Think so. They're.
should we pull something on the bottom of them just spread out the weight?
I don't think they will.
No.
Not like the
That
The
like
little
camping
round
chairs
metal.
were. I mean, those
Yeah.
were little,
Yeah.
little legs that went in there.
All right, so not our resources yet. Sounds like beautification, then
Yeah.
LPA. But sounds like we have consensus that this is a good model to go with.
Yep.
Worth a try. They're gonna foot it.
I have polywood rocking chairs at my house.
And?
The
Yeah,
quality,
yeah.
very nice.
I could see you in a rocking chair. Yeah.
I like
So
the middle.
the full dimensions on
rocking
this. The full dimensions on this are, get out of the way. 24 inches deep, so
Okay.
the ADA compliant is 3 feet, and the walkway should be 6,
So,
so we should be fine.
well within, okay.
Okay. And sand is the color they want, that's what's marked here.
Yeah, I think he said the sand over the white, he thinks
Yeah,
it won't
Won't
get
show
as
as much
dirty.
dirt.
Yeah,
They pressure wash very nicely.
they
but-
do, yeah, they clean up. I think the white would be fine. I think it would look better down there than the sand, but
I do too.
if sand's out of stock, I'll order white. I don't know.
yeah. He did say he didn't want something that was too dark because the heat.
Heat, yeah, sit down, sit on it and burn.
Yeah, retain the heat from the sun baking on it. There's no shade on those courts.
Well, you know what, I'll order the sand, and if it doesn't look good, then it can be exchanged.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanna order it, I can help put it together and fasten it in some
Okay.
manner.
It doesn't come assembled?
I doubt it. It's Home Depot.
Okay.
Online, Home Depot,
Yeah.
they're not gonna deliver it assembled.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Chris. Thank you both for looking into this, and
Okay.
that'll be a nice addition this summer. Next on old business is the car show coming up on April 18th. We had talked about having a rec member attend in part or in whole events that we are supporting.
Right, we have to open up Talent Hall.
So,
for the
before we
restaurants.
get,
We had said we'd do
before we
that.
go too far down the hole on that,
Yep.
I had actually emailed Trey, about something, about the schedule and to see what he was expecting, if he had any idea, this past week. He did say he was talking to the high school about possibly moving it there instead because he's expecting about 70 cars. So, I haven't heard back yet whether
Okay.
or not that's gonna happen, if that's the case, if they're allowing that. But he said he would still probably use the parking lot anyway for some overflow of, parking. And people could walk down to the high school if that's the case, but, there's a chance he might not even be there on
Okay.
Saturday.
We didn't order extra cleaning, whether it would be before or after of the bathroom, which we usually do for an event. We didn't do that yet, so I think if they cancel, then we don't. Anybody know what the new, we have a new custodian, right? Does anybody know what the cleaning day is?
I'm not, let me check in with Kim on that, and then,
Cause that would play into
right, if it just.
whether the bathroom needs to be cleaned before an event or
Yeah.
after.
So LGSL is looking at doing their field maintenance project down there this weekend, so if he does move to the high school, then I think LGSL will probably work on Saturday down at the fields obviously with 70 cars. I would push that off to Sunday or really with any show down there, I would probably push it off until Sunday. Just because I don't want to be in the way, making noise, making dust, of our cars that are showing quality out in the parking lot. So if he is going to have it there and we have to do our maintenance project on Sunday, then I'm happy to be down there.
So this date is wrong, cause it says April 18th, but it's actually April 13th.
Oh, that's a typo. Sorry,
Oh,
that
is
is
it
the
this
13th.
Saturday?
It's this
Yeah, it's
Saturday.
this Saturday,
okay,
it's the
okay.
13th.
Yeah.
It is, yep, sorry about that.
10 to 2.
So you're, because of LGSL, you're in contact with him, so you'll know either way whether they're gonna have it or not. I was gonna say,
Yeah, I
I could
reached
go
out to him
down to
today in an email.
close.
And I just haven't heard back yet.
70
Okay.
cars is a lot, and that would be, I don't think you could fit that in.
I
No,
don't think he could either.
Yeah.
No. Alright, so you'll keep us updated with that, and I'll check the cleaning schedule. Good to know one way or another, and we'll see how the time.
right, what
works.
day,
So
because it
is the
seems,
plan we're gonna open up talent for that?
we
for
were
bathrooms?
because it's a rec sponsored event. So we were gonna open up the bathrooms instead of bringing in more.
Mhm.
So that's the only thing, and it seems like every time we get a new custodian, their cleaning day changes.
So assuming it's on the 13th, who is around, just to have,
If it's on the 13th and at Dara, then I can be available.
okay, thank you.
I can be there from noon to 2 or to help clean up and close up.
Great, thank you both. I might be around as well, but can't come up just yet.
One other thing with that, does anybody know if I had mentioned that trash had not been picked up in several weeks at the entrance to Dara, it was overflowing. And we didn't know if they had stopped picking up the trash over the winter.
Are you talking the
Not the dumpster,
dumpster?
the cans, not on the fields, not the ones we keep on the fields, but there's one near the porta potty, and
Yep.
there's another one on the other side of the fence. And the last time I was there 2 weeks ago, they still hadn't been picked up, and they were overflowing trash. Like I picked up some of it, brought it over to the dumpster, but I didn't have bags on me to empty them. But it looked like it hadn't been emptied through the winter, so I didn't know if has there been a schedule in the past? Do you know, Steve? For
I do not
the
know.
dumpster's getting emptied, but
I know
Not
that
the
was
entryway
falling
trash cans.
upon Kevin Brown and his crew.
Yeah, and so we had started having the leagues and people using the
Yeah.
fields empty those and bring them to the dumpster, so it's less work with Kevin. And I didn't know if there's a date that starts, or if it's, but it should be done anyway before.
Let me check what
Have any
came on that
events?
as well. I meant to earlier, so.
And we didn't have
Okay.
softball pitching yesterday, so I wasn't down there, I didn't notice if it had been picked up.
And remember, Kevin didn't get his additional guy,
Yep,
so he might not have, he's spread pretty thin right now.
Yeah,
yeah, well, that's why we didn't want him having to run all over the fields to empty
right.
the trash can, just like the entryway and what was there, but I didn't know if they stopped over the winter.
Let me follow up on that one.
You still want the tractor for Saturday, right?
If he's gonna have a show on Saturday, then it'll be on Sunday.
Okay.
If he's gonna have a show at
And we
I
will
might grab it
also,
on Saturday if it's available.
we'll also have to
If it's not,
pull out
if
trash
they're
barrels.
doing the show, then we'll just bring on use it.
if they're doing the show at the high school, then our plan is to do it Saturday.
Okay.
So I'd use it. But
Yeah. We have other people bringing equipment, so I think we'll
he,
be
he
fine.
actually did just email me said that he hasn't heard back from the school yet. He hopes someone will know tomorrow. So I'll let you know.
Okay.
So if they do have it, the car show there, we're gonna have to bring out the extra trash barrels too.
How does it work if it moves to the high school? Is it still under the rec committee?
No,
No. So we wouldn't
it
have
becomes
any
school,
responsibility.
so we don't have any responsibility.
Okay.
And I mean, we don't reserve the parking lot, so anybody can park in the parking
Mhm.
lot.
Yeah.
right, and walk over there, so then, yeah. So if it is, then what I can do is go over maybe on Friday and pull out trash cans, make sure there's, trash can liners and extra ones in there.
Sure. Could be
If it's
helpful.
going to happen, make sure that we don't want trash just being dropped everywhere.
No, good thought. Thank you. All right, good on that event. Thank you, Chris. All right, moving on to new business, bit of a damage report on the swing.
Did anybody see that?
Yeah,
come
that was an
through?
odd
And
one.
it was on Facebook, and Kevin must have been in the area and went and pulled the staple out
Yeah.
of the baby swing.
Gotta keep those kids secure. You know?
Yeah.
That's what I did. Just
But when I
Walk 'em
just
right in.
checked if we had more field requests, we do have another damaged one that came through, and it's the kid slide again.
yeah.
It's
Another citizen in town
now
also.
it's a metal piece sticking out. So that has been an ongoing issue that we didn't really have the funding for, and now
So which slide is
It's the one.
the tall
that's-
straight one, the
yeah.
same one that we've tried to fix
Yeah.
4 or 5 times. And so I think that's something we need to,
Citizen in town also approached me on that one as well.
yeah.
That's one that you repaired at one point in time, and then eventually it's just cracks again. And
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
and we've
repaired it.
tried different
Jeff repaired
materials,
it,
too.
Epoxy, we tried.
We'll
all
go
sorts
back
of-
to those old metal ones that get like 800 degrees. and
Yeah,
stuff.
the burns.
Yep.
But I think it's something we're gonna have to look at replacing.
Yeah, it just keeps on coming out.
Yeah, it's not something, as it gets colder or it gets warm, it all changes, so,
Which one's the tall straight one?
yeah,
in the
that's the
back.
one,
It's in the
it
back.
faces the
on
back
big
side.
structure.
Okay.
So, and
How
that
much
has
is
to
it-
do
how much is the
also,
new one?
right, with the base, right, the foundation
Mhm.
base of the cement rising and,
Yeah.
but this has been
That
an
whole
ongoing issue for a
contraption
year
is
now.
getting pretty rickety.
I hate to start the season closing it down, but, and the thing is, we tape it off and put up signs and people rip it off and
Mhm.
still go down. But I think it's something we need to address because it's been ongoing and we can't do it ourselves anymore. And now we do have that fund that,
I don't know if that applies to the slide though, does it?
is for anything to, like replacing broken property. It's part of the reason we were hoping to get it.
Well, it'll come down to the price point. I mean, if it's just a maintenance fix,
Yeah,
then
it's-
everyone access it. It's more
No.
for something that's
Right.
more of a capital problem.
So we're gonna have to do something because we're gonna end up being liable with someone
Yeah.
getting hurt because we've done it, tried to fix it so many times, and we have closed it down and had our signs and tape and everything I mean, it's our property and reliable, so I don't know if it just has to be removed and how we block the top off, but I think it's been over a year, it needs to be addressed. I don't think we can keep putting it off. I don't think it's a good idea.
I can do some research and try and figure out what that'll take
All right.
to replace.
Thank you. I'll take you up on that.
In the meantime, should I go put up the caution tape and,
I can do that tomorrow, or you can, or?
or I can, yeah, and we'll just have to keep checking that it's, I mean, it's just gonna keep getting ripped down, but,
It's the best we can do in the short term,
Yeah.
in any case, yep. Okay, thank you. All right, a couple other items, but other business members want to bring forward?
oh, I did, the fire department's gonna get back to me on an estimate with the outdoor AED.
Oh, great, thank you,
So I'm awaiting that, and I'll send out an email once I have that.
thank you.
Oh, something else someone mentioned to me is,
Yes.
there was kids driving trucks on the beach the other day. And then also, he said it looks like there was a chair or something that was burned, it's metal, and so maybe this weekend if we're down there,
The
tractor down there.
Boy Scouts pointed that out last fall. I think it was burnt last fall down there.
It's been there since fall,
On the
Yeah.
beach,
on the beach, yeah. I don't know what it is, I haven't looked, but he said it looks like a coil or possibly a chair that burned or something. I don't know.
One thing that I just thought of is, do we need to get the dumpsters turned back on by the waste management in town? Because I know he shuts them down for the winter for like Sawmill and the baseball fields and I think the one at Talent is all year round.
All year,
but
yeah.
the other ones he shuts down for the winter.
Okay, let me ask about that, I'm
Yeah.
checking on all these kind of cleaning trash things, so.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think, Dave Millen takes care of that. I think Kim contacts Dave and then Dave tells the company that.
I have to do a
Yeah.
dump run Wednesday. I usually talk to him about it when I see him
Yeah.
there too. So I'll mention it to him.
Thank you. All right. Another kind of damage issue, going back to talent and the urinal issue. We've had a running water piece there, so it looks like Kim did have someone take a look into it. There's a cracked pipe that would need to be fixed. So I want to see if we could approve Smith Plumbing to go in and take care of that.
Do we have an estimate?
Bathrooms need to be
Or is
gutted.
it-
No estimate at this
Yeah.
point. Yeah, they need to go in, so we could wait until the estimate comes back, or we can approve the work. Right now, it's shut off right now, right?
Yes, it's shut off right now, that one urinal. There's no sign above it saying, please don't use it, or it's broken, we might wanna hang that up. I mean, I don't think Talent's getting a tremendous amount of use right now. Might not be a bad thing to get an estimate on
Yeah.
Is that first? Okay.
before we give them the
Yep.
green light for carte
Sure.
blanche. But
yeah.
Okay.
is it, do they know where the cracked pipe is?
I don't have any more details, yeah, I'm not sure. Probably way down deep.
It's
Gotta rip
always
out
the
5
case.
walls to get to it.
Yeah,
Right.
it's filling the pool
Well,
beneath the stage.
I mean, is it something that could have happened when they were removing the stuff from the other side and cutting everything
That's
back?
an interesting question.
Because that, I mean, it seemed to correspond with that
Yeah.
work,
It definitely did. It was it was the same day, or the next day.
so,
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably no way to know if it, or at least, you know, we probably wouldn't find out if it happened,
Yeah.
but it'd be nice to know if it's a warranty type thing, or somebody else's fault.
Yep. Alright, so I'll get an estimate either which way and see what other coverage we might have for such an incident. Alright, next, want to discuss bylaws and election of officers. So per our bylaws, we vote in the first meeting in May for the new officers. However, the town is trying to get more consistent with how officers are elected or designated, and it's typically the first meeting after the new select board is put in place. So that's kind of like the start of the new year for the boards. So Kim reached out and said, hey, you should, you know, let us know what your officers are, and also you should review your bylaws annually. So, because we're kind of out of line with our bylaws right now, I think we should probably just stick with them for now and vote May. But then use that opportunity to revisit our bylaws, to perhaps update them so they're in line with the town practices, would be my recommendation, but wanted to get thoughts on that.
It's fine with me.
Yeah, it would make more sense to me as well.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
So that will happen
First weekend.
first week in May.
Or first, yeah.
Yeah, first meeting in May.
Okay, I just wanna write it down so I get it, I know what
May
to put it on the
14th.
agenda.
But
I'll
going
be-
forward, so the suggestion would be the first meeting after the town election, and then the BOS appoints the selectmen reps, so it would be that first meeting then, right?
That's what I believe, so, however, yep.
Yeah, I don't know why we didn't know about that, because other commissions or boards did.
Oh,
She sent a note to me, yeah,
Oh,
hey,
okay.
but it's our bylaws, that's the
Oh, our
problem for
bylaws,
us,
okay, oh, I
because
understand, okay, sorry.
We have it specific in our bylaws about
yeah,
when the vote
it's
is.
sometime in April, right? Second or
First meeting in May.
first meeting in May?
Yeah. All right.
Now, does your bylaw, some of them have bylaws where there's term limits where you can only be chair for 2 years unless unanimously voted in by the complete chair? I don't know if the Rex has that.
I don't believe we have
I
that.
know.
But you have our support, Peter.
I'm
Yes.
not looking for it, okay.
You
we-
saying you wanna vote now, Andy?
No. I'm gonna shut this meeting right down. All right. Actually, can I turn to you next to just give a note about the Memorial Field dedication coming up?
Yeah, so the Kurt Schaefer Field dedication is scheduled for May 4th at 1 p.m. Probably going to need a little help. I think I'm going to work with Steve on getting, some sort of a program put together, what we're going to do, and flag hanging and work with Marie obviously too to get her what she would like for a ceremony. But we might need, I guess, sound system and speakers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I got something we could use.
Oh, good. The sign's getting installed this Saturday.
Oh, great.
Trying to anyway. Yep.
Excellent. Thank you for your leadership in helping organize that.
Yeah, no problem.
And then just to note that the fishing derby is on Saturday, May 18th at 8 o'clock at Parker Park.
Has the portable bathroom been ordered for that?
Question, no.
2 meetings ago, we approved
Yep.
paying for the bathroom,
Oh, the comfort station?
the comfort station,
Oh.
yes.
I wasn't sure what you were talking about.
That one kinda bothers me, cause what is it, 2 hours?
I know.
How long is the event? 2 hours?
We're required to have it.
I know, it's just one of those things that.
Oh, you gotta have an option.
Yeah, I think at one time we put one on the back of my trailer and brought it down. Jay and I went and grabbed it.
Where?
No, that was for the, that was for the fishing derby, or maybe it was the concert. I
You
don't know.
moved a full porta potty with a
It was
trailer?
empty, it was
You,
empty.
you have one? You have a porta potty?
No, Jay and I.
I stole one from somewhere else in town.
Oh, and just moved it from it from the golf course?
Yeah, I got a couple.
At his house.
Oh, I don't care how we get it. Or how we get there. Do we have one in town not being used that day?
Has the
We
one
can
for
move and bring that.
pickleball been delivered?
You know, did we talk talk about having one brought for there and then going down to Sawmill? Cause we,
There's
There's
two.
two
Two.
there, yeah, one up at the courts and one down at the field.
yeah, and I thought Mike had brought up, can we just have them bring it to Parker Park and then move it down? But May 18th is kind of late to get. I don't know. I thought instead of them delivering it there and bringing it back and then bringing one to Sawmill. I don't remember the full conversation, but he brought something up that we were going to need the 2 brought down to Sawmill.
The sawmill ones are, they're like for the season, right?
Sawmill?
Yeah.
I thought, no, pickleball one was picked up.
Yeah, I don't think they've been
Yeah.
delivered yet.
No,
Not that I've seen. Oh, there is one down at Sawmill now, yeah. It's
there
down
was
by
that
the road.
Sawmill. I don't know what the
Down by
dates
the
were
field-
that we
down
were
by the
going.
field there
By the
is.
field.
I don't know if I've seen
The
one up by the
pickleball one,
courts.
I did not notice it being,
Because I think the only one that should be there year-round would be Roy.
Yep.
And then I thought all the rest of them were picked up at the end of the season and delivered upon request.
well,
And
they
I
didn't
thought
know, they
what-
didn't know they had one at the
Yeah.
Sawmill field.
Sawmill, I thought there
So,
was.
so the
also
one that's
two.
down at Sawmill has, I don't know if it's something they just dropped off recently, but it's not in the same location as it was last year, so I would assume it
It was-
wasn't there all winter.
It was,
Okay.
no, so I did talk to Kim about this, so they get pulled, but they were supposed to be put back, I think, last week.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
pending
I
this
went,
maybe the beginning of
I
April,
noticed
so,
because I went down there during this, well, right after the snowstorm, because I noticed there were some tire tracks in the
Mhm.
parking lot and donuts and stuff, so I wanted to make sure people weren't driving over the
Yeah.
field. And if they were, I was gonna grab the camera down there, but I noticed that the porta potty is on camera and, you know, it's well protected.
so Steve, are you saying we should pick it up ourselves and bring it over?
If it's not,
It'll save us
if
money.
it's not used and heavy, it's easy enough to move. We put it on a trailer and just leave it connected.
Are you
to the-
volunteering?
Maybe.
How do you get it empty? Like they come and suck everything out?
No, so the one we did was, it was just delivered, so it was empty, so we grabbed it and
So
we're
you
able
didn't
just
put
to-
it in the blue water yet?
There was very little.
Yeah.
You know, they always put the blue water in, but it was not used.
Okay.
So they're fairly light, so we just literally pushed it onto my trailer and then just tied it down.
And then did they pick it up after?
Now we brought it back and slid it back. The husband knows how to move porta potties. He's multi-talented. Without getting blue water on him.
He looked like a Smurf when he was done.
He took it from Innisfields. Innisfields weren't being used yet, so we were able to go down to Innisfield and snag that one.
I am starting to think Conservation Commission will do anything. They'll cut down all kinds of trees and, yeah. Yeah, I don't,
When's Innisfield starting to be used? They're starting now already, right?
Yes. Certainly by my.
Innis was used tonight. I was at soccer practice before.
Okay. Yeah, so you might need to get one ordered or cleaned. If they clean it, we'll move it and then put it back, but I'm not moving.
It's
Full
May.
units.
Yeah,
May
baseballs will be in use by then.
Yeah, I think a lot of the fields are being used.
Yeah, I'm leaning more towards just ordering and not sweating it.
we get a good price, right, with the,
Yes,
The
our current vendor has a
companies,
good price and
okay.
they want.
We just wanted to make sure, that it shows up this year.
Yes. All right. Other than that,
We-
who
I-
else sorry, did you have anything?
Yeah, I think we need to think about, checking out our properties and seeing the damage or trees or cleanup that needs to be done. We know at Parker Park already, Conservation has let us know some stuff before the fishing derby. And I don't know if I don't think we all have to go out and walk our properties. We can just say, oh, I'll check this one, I'll check that one, and see if, like last year, the beach at Dara was
Yeah.
the major one that, and we got a lot of volunteers coming.
Is there a
out, but-
process to give another commission on property? Like, it doesn't even make sense that it's under a rec.
Park,
Yeah.
Yeah,
deeded,
It's deeded
it's
that way.
deeded to recreation,
yeah.
so it's not, cannot.
Probably take like a town meeting vote to
I don't know if it could.
deed it to them. Just
We
doesn't
could
make-
ask him.
just doesn't
Well,
make
part of
sense.
the property, yeah, also doesn't, yeah, it doesn't even belong to the Monadnock, whatever trust
Yeah,
owns part of it, and conservation has permission
Yeah,
to
but they-
use it, and I think the
but
bridge will
the
go on
actual
that property.
Parker Park in the
Yeah.
area you go down to was given to the town and deeded for recreational purposes. And for the longest time, conservation believed they managed it, and
They
then when we
managed
started
it.
digging into it, was, no, this is rec property.
But they've continued to be good about maintaining it as much as they can.
But it
Same
is-
thing with the river access is recreation.
But the conservation doesn't have a
Conservation.
budget where they could have pay for porta potties or whatever else.
No,
like
they
that.
don't.
What would we need at Parker Park? I mean, nothing, right?
No, I mean, there's not really
Right, they're
many
using that
recreational
fund for the
opportunities down
bridge.
there. That's why I just think it's odd.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and they're the ones with the, using the money to put up the bridge there. But yeah, I had
bridge
thought the
is
same
town
thing, I'm
money.
like, it's really weird, like, on conservation land, but managed by recreation, but it probably has to do with the deed.
Yeah, it's a deed, it's recreation, it's always believed it was conservation, and the bridge money was, it's town money that was given to the town when they built that intersection.
Yeah,
So it's not even conservation money, it's town.
right,
It's a-
town.
it's a,
I think there's up to $18,000 in it now with the interest.
I can't think of the word for it yet.
It's enough to cover a bridge.
That'll be
Legit.
good.
So, yeah, I think we just need to take a walk through our properties and figure out what we need to clean up or what needs to be done. We can divide that up.
It'll probably be a while before, John Bryant River access is open. I think the benches are still underwater.
Yeah, the water's so high. But, and Dara's not in any, it's not anywhere near like it was last year with big trees down and having to come out of the water, but it still needs, we still need to do some cleanup there.
Do you want to have us slice up a list so I can, before the next meeting and say, you know, everybody takes a park and stop
Yeah.
in before the next meeting?
I'll take 2 baseball fields. 'Cause
Well,
that'll be the
yeah,
weekend.
but like you may have some trees down or stuff that,
Yeah.
you know, needs removal that.
No, we've
I
kind of
can
been
check,
cleaning it all up. It's-
I can check at, Dara Pond. I should also check on, where Kevin Brown is at with the ropes course
That's good.
underneath.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right, cause the gym classes are gonna start that soon, so I'll check, I'll ask Kevin where things are with that. It's awful that he doesn't have that extra help.
Yeah, we know he's doing his best and doing great with it, but
Yeah.
it's a lot of stuff.
You wanna keep it?
Thank you.
So I'll check Dara, you'll be at the softball fields if you see anything.
Yeah,
River
I think-
access, we can't do anything right now. Parker Park, we'll have to maybe
Yeah.
get a group down there with conservation before the fishing derby.
There shouldn't be anything major at the softball fields. We what's his name? Ryan Lane already did a cleanup there, and I think he
Okay.
mowed once already
Mhm.
before it snowed.
Right.
Yeah, he did a cleanup of all the fields. They look
Yeah.
great. They really do.
Yeah, impressive.
That's why everybody wants to use them.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, any other items to come before? All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a
Move.
motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion second, all in favor, say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.